All right, our SWOT is students will be able to compare and contrast using a Venn diagram. So comparing, telling similarities, contrasting, telling differences, and a Venn diagram is that right here on the paper you see it's these two circles that overlap just in the middle. So you can tell the similarities where they overlap, and you can tell where they're different in the circles that contain their own section that don't overlap. So we are going to be telling the similarities and differences of airplanes and rockets. So the first thing I'm going to do, since I already know what my topic is I'm going to type in airplanes on the top. I'm going to type in both, because this is where I'm telling what things are the same for both of these things. And then at the bottom, you'll type in rockets. Okay. And we're only doing one text today because I want this to be more independent. So I don't want to overwhelm you with having to read two different texts and comparing and contrasting them both. Instead, I'm going to have you compare and contrast two topics just in the same text. So I'll go ahead and read this to you. Airplanes and rockets. Rockets and airplanes carry people and things. Rockets travel in space. Airplanes travel across Earth. Pilots fly airplanes. Airplanes and rockets both use fuel and oxygen to fly. So, just in that little paragraph, I found a bunch of similarities and differences as well. Airplanes travel on the ground before lifting off. Airplane engines burn fuel combined with oxygen from the atmosphere or the layers of air around Earth to fly. Where Earth's atmosphere ends is called outer space. Airplanes cannot fly into outer space. In outer space, there is no oxygen in the atmosphere to mix with the fuel. Unlike airplanes, rockets can also fly into outer space. Rockets use fuel in their own supply of oxygen. They blast straight up into space. Rockets can fly without pilots. Rocket trips can last for days. Airplane trips can last a few minutes or many hours. It all depends on where the plane is flying. So I will go ahead and fill out one similarity and one difference for each box just to give you an example. But I want you to have at least 3 for each section. I found a bunch, I heard a bunch that you can name, that you can list as well. So the first one I'm going to highlight is rockets and airplanes carry people and things. That's a similarity. They both do these things. So I'm just going to click. I'm going to hit my bullet point. There's one similarity. Now I'm going to list a difference. Something that airplanes do that rockets do not do. So let's go ahead and find one. So right here says rockets travel in space. Actually, I'm going to do my differences in a different color so I know it's a difference. Rockets travel in space. Airplanes travel across Earth. There is a similar, or there are two differences. Airplanes only travel across Earth. And then it says my rockets travel in space. Right. So go ahead and find 2 more differences for each section. So 2 more differences for airplanes and 2 more differences for rockets. And go ahead and find 2 more differences for how they're similar or the both section.